Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melissa Andre. I'm the Executive Director of the Philadelphia Tax Review Board. Today is Tuesday, May 6th. It is approximately 2:03 p.m., and we are convening a session of the Philadelphia Tax Review Board. With me today is our board chair, Paula Weiss, as well as board members Nancy Cameradiner, John O'Connor, and George Matthews. It is my responsibility to remind everybody to please be aware that this is a public hearing and it is being recorded. Because the meeting is public, participants and viewers have no expectation of privacy, and by continuing to be in this meeting, you are consenting to being recorded. This recording will also be posted on the Tax Review Board's website. At this point, I'm going to give it to Paula to take it away and put in our first person.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. The Tax Review Board hearings for May 6, 2025 are now in session. Before we move into the hearings that are going to go forward today, we've got two administrative matters to read into the record. The first one involving what is listed as case number 1 on our docket for 1507 Folkrod Street. Last 4 digits of the docket are SC58. That matter has been continued. Dropping down to what is listed as number 6 on our docket for 2935 Headley Street. 5JL3 are the last 4 digits of that docket for that case. That matter is also continued. So Ms. Laughlin, is that the only case you had for us today?
It is.
Okay, so you may be excused if you choose not to hang around for the rest of it.
Thank you so much.
Have a good afternoon. And we are going to move to the first case for a petitioner who was in our hearing room. Ms. Andre, which case on our docket?
It is case number 3, 273 South 5th Street, Abdoon.
Okay, case number 3, last 4 digits of the docket, 82EB. Mr. Abdown, is that how you say your name?
Abdoon.
I don't want to mispronounce your name.
Abdoon.
Abdoon, Mr. Abdoon, good afternoon. My name is Paula Weiss, Chair of the Tax Review Board. We're going to be hearing your appeal today for water revenue purposes. Could you state your full name for the record, please?
Osama Abdoon.
Mr. Abdoon, I'm sorry to bother you. Can you just move a little bit closer to the microphone? It's the little square that's on the table. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay.
And do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter today will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we're going to start with the city representatives who are going to read into the record for us the dates and dollar amounts involved, and then we will come back to you and you'll have an opportunity to explain to us why you're here today and what you're looking for from the board. Okay? So who has this matter for the city?
I do, Ms. Chairperson. Elizabeth Scattergood for the city, and testifying with me today is Ms. Chanel Smith, who is a revenue collection supervisor with the Water Revenue Bureau.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Smith. Would you state your full name for the record, please?
Smith.
And do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you read into the record the dates and dollar amounts in controversy, please?
Yes, the period in question is April 12th, 2017 through July 12th, 2024. The principal amount is $4,436.35. The penalty amount is $1,017.90. The lien amount is $573.70, bringing the total dispute amount to $6,027.95.
Thank you. Ms. Scattergood, any opening comments?
This matter was granted nunc-pro-tunc consideration, and the city would like to respectfully request that such consideration be afforded the presumption that the petitioner had notice of the bills unless he's able to corroborate otherwise. The bills were mailed to the same mailing address that is listed on the petitioner's residential rental license as is on file with the city. This pertains to alleged lack of notice of the bills. So as far as notice goes, the city would request that the petitioner affirmatively show he had neither actual nor constructive notice. And if he can't show that, then the petition should be denied as out of time.
Did you want to ask him any questions to start?
Um, sure, Mr. Abdun, that's your that is your last name?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Some different systems have Osama Abdun and others have Abdun Osama, so I wanted to make sure. So you own the property at 273 South 57th Street, right?
Yes.
And it's a single family row home building, right?
Yes.
Okay. Who was living in the property between 2017 and 2024?
Barry Avery, the tenant.
Okay. How was it just the one tenant or
It's just one tenant, yes.
just the one tenant? Okay. She didn't have any family members living with her, or
No. He got his wife and and the kids.
how many kids?
I really don't know how many kids.
I'm going to
Okay.
stop this. Excuse me while I interrupt, Mr. Abdun. Ms. Gatto, didn't you want to limit this to his knowledge of the bill? As a
Yes.
preliminary objection? So
Right.
why don't we get
Yes,
to that?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So where have you been receiving bills, Mr. Abdun?
I never received bills until when I went to my lawyer, because when they stopped paying the rent, I went to file a case against of them. Even I don't know about the water bill. I went there, the lawyer, he told me bring the water bill and everything. I went to the city of Philadelphia because I never received any water bill in my address. And I went there and I saw the amount of the water was 5,000 something that time. That's when I noticed that's the time when they stopping paying the rent, like 3 months, and I went to the lawyer to file a case to eviction case. But I
Through
never
the landlord tenant court, yes?
Yes. I
Okay.
never received any water bill in my address.
Okay. And what is the mailing address at which you would at which water bills should have been mailed?
5G, the water bill, I don't know, because they mail it to 273, but I don't know. But my address where I live at is 5029 Chancellor Street.
Okay.
Yes.
Madam Chairperson, I'd like to ask Ms. Smith to corroborate that and look at the bills that, because she has reviewed this account. And Ms. Smith, can you identify where bills are being sent for this account?
5029 Chancellor Street.
Okay. Can you identify where bills were being sent for this account in, let's say April of 2018?
So hopefully the system will bring up the bill. Sometimes it takes forever. Sometimes it just doesn't bring it up at all. So it's spending right now.
All right, while you do that, let me ask a few questions. Mr. Abdun,
Yes.
did you receive water bills from the city for this property on 57th Street at any time?
No.
And what was your understanding at the time as to what was supposed to be happening with water expenses and water bills?
Excuse
Did
me?
you not know that there would be a water bill for this property?
No, because I have the lease, the tenant, they paying the water bill. And the water bill, he used to go to the tenant in 273 South 7th Street. I have agreement and I have a rental license, and the water, he used to go down there. And really, I don't know anything.
So your lease, your expectation was that your tenant was responsible for the water bill. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, and so you did not receive, your testimony is that you did not receive a bill at your address on Chancellor Street. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, so Ms. Smith, can you tell us during the time period, which starts in 2017 through 2024, was there a time that the water bill was going to the property on 57th Street, or can you see that there might have been a change?
Yes, at least up until April of 2020, it has been going to 273 South 57th Street. I'm still scanning through.
Okay. So the bill, at least for part of this time, was not going to the Chancellor Street address.
Correct.
Okay, and Mr. Abdon, when did your tenant leave?
They left before, I think I'm believing in maybe like 4 months ago. I'm not sure, 4 months ago.
So in 2025.
Yes, no, 22. I really like 4 or 3 months ago. 4 months ago. It's more than, it's like.
All right, and so your testimony, well, this petition was filed in July of 2024.
Yeah,
Your
July-
testimony is that you did not know about these bills until your tenant left?
No,
Is that correct?
No. I know about this bill when my tenant stopped paying
Stop paying rent, but they were still in the property.
Yeah, they still in the property, and I went to the lawyer office, and the lawyer, he told me, go bring me the water bill because he can file the case. And I didn't receive the water bill, and I went to the city of Philadelphia asking about the water bill. They give me. This is the first time I saw I'm owing 5,000 something that time when I filed. From that time, I know about the water bill. Before that, is really I don't know anything.
Okay, and Ms. Smith, do you know, or are you able to determine when the mailing address for the bills changed to Chancellor Street
January of this year.
this year, so 2025?
Can I say something?
Okay. So I think that,
Said he would
Cons-
like to say something.
I'm sorry,
Mr. Abdon? Sir, you could say,
Yes,
you said you
yes.
wanted to say something?
Yes. You know, when I came to the first hearing here, I asked to change the address to my address is 5029 Chancellor Street. You know, the first hearing before like 3 or 4 months ago when I came here. And still now, I didn't receive anything in my address too. Except that, you know, the court and this, but the water bill, until now, I didn't receive anything from 273 South 7th Street in 5029 Chancellor Street.
so you're still not getting the bills, is that what you said?
Yes.
So Ms. Smith, are the bills being mailed to the Chancellor Street address?
They've been being mailed since January of this year, and looking at the latest bill, which was April, still 5029 Chancellor Street.
Okay, well, Mr. Abdon, the city does have your correct mailing address at this point. So I think that we are gonna move ahead, Ms. Scattergood,
Yeah.
and give some consideration. So, Mr. Abdon, I think we've heard quite a bit of what the circumstance was, and I'm just gonna recap, I guess, that you had tenants for this entire time, you did not receive the bills. Did you make any attempt at any point during this time period from 2017 to 2024 to ascertain whether your tenants were in fact paying the water bills?
No.
And so when they stopped paying the rent and you went to
Yeah,
do some other legal activity, it came to light for you that these bills had not been paid,
correct.
correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, Ms. Scattergood, what else would you like to provide us with?
Mr. Abdon, during that eviction action that you and your attorney filed with the city, did you seek water and sewer rents as well as rent from did you seek repayment of the water bills as well as your rent, or just the rent? What was the outcome of that action?
No, I seek for both of them, but the lawyer, finally, they made agreement. They say
Mhm.
if they want to move out, it's just, I can forget about the water bill, and the lawyer told me you can, that's is no case they can go out with that. And this is really too much for me, because I'm raising 6 kids. You guys can check my credit. I never I never had any bill late payment or anything in my life. I've been here in the United States like 23 years now, and I got my bills paying on time. I'm raising 6 kids, and really this money is too much for me. That's why I can't pay this.
Well, Mr. Abdoon, was this property, did you have tenants the entire time?
Excuse me.
But you had tenants in this property the entire time
the-
who until the end were paying you rent each month, is that correct?
Yeah, they since I bought it, the first tenant until they moved out is the same people.
And how many people were in the house?
It's really, he got a kids, I can't count him and his wife, and more than 5 sibling, I think, is 5 children. It's more than
Well,
So
there doesn't
7
seem
or
to be
8
any
people.
denying that there was water being used.
No, what
And
that?
there was water being used all these years.
No, now I have people, a new tenant in the
I
property.
understand, but my point is during the time that you're questioning,
Uh-huh.
it sounds like there was a lot of water, maybe potentially a lot of water, but there was water being used in the house. I mean, the water was on and people were in there living there and using it, correct?
That's right, yes.
And it does have to get paid for one way or another. I mean, it does seem, or it does sound like, but is there anything else you would like to tell us about how this came about? Anything else you think that we should know?
No, because I have a rental license from City of Philadelphia, because even if it's this amount of the money, I have in rental license.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes,
have.
we're not saying that you don't. I mean, not,
Can I talk?
yes.
I'm just want to mention, I have a lease. The tenant is paying that amount of the money. And I thought, like, when you do that, is not my responsibility, the tenant's responsibility, because I have a lease with them to pay the water. And, I noticed that, if this is my responsibility, at least to notice the city, they stop paying until this amount of the money, they should send me, let me know, I own the City of Philadelphia amount of this one, at least when it gets 1,000. If they don't want to cut it off, they should let me know. I can take care of it, or I can go to eviction court. I can talk to the tenant or something like that. But really, they didn't send me anything. I noticed about the bill when I want to file eviction against of them, and if this is I know this is my responsibility and everything, but by at least the city, they should send me something in my mail. They say, in this property, you own it, you own the water department, like this amount of the money. I can know, but really, I don't know about that.
Okay. Ms. Scattergood, is there anything else you want to put on the record?
I mean, since the petitioner has acknowledged that water has been used, and the city's regulations provide for the owner of the property being ultimately responsible for water bills, I think the regs supersede whatever lease agreement is on file, even if it is through a rental license. So unfortunately, the city's position is that Mr. Abdoon needs to pay for water that was being provided during the period in question, even though his tenants didn't pay for it because it's his property.
Okay. All right, we're going to step back. Everybody just stay where you are. The board is going to take a few minutes to consider all of this information. Okay, we have everybody. 1, 2. Not yet. Hold on. Nancy. All right. Tax Review Board is back in session. We did take a few minutes to review the information provided to us through the testimony of both the city's representatives and the petitioner. And it is the decision of the board to abate the penalties that have accrued against this liability for these charges, and to provide the petitioner with 30 days from the date of the adjusted bill to make payment arrangements with revenue to address the remaining liability. Can I get concurrence from board members?
Mr. John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Catlin, I concur.
Nancy?
Nancy Cameradiner, I concur.
Okay, and Paula Weiss, I concur. So Mr. Abdoon, you will get a letter from the Tax Review Board in about 2 weeks with that decision that all penalties related to these charges have been abated. An adjusted bill from Water Revenue Bureau will be forthcoming, and you'll have 30 days from that date to make arrangements with the Revenue Department to address the liabilities. So thank you for coming in and good luck.
Thank you.
And we're going to move on, but I need Melissa to tell me which case is next. All right, Melissa, which case, which petitioner?
This should be number 2, Greensburg, I think.
Greenberg. Okay, so we're going to do case number 2, which is 1515 Stony Lane. Looks like Unit B. Last 4 digits of the docket for ECD. Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Greenberg.
Yes.
Yes, okay. My name is Paula Weiss. I am Chair of the Tax Review Board. We're going to be hearing your case today. You know what? Someone is with you, I can see.
That's my wife.
Okay, she needs to move a little closer if she's going to testify. And I need each of you to state your full names for the record.
Zilzal Greenberg.
Okay, and Mr. Greenberg.
Boris Greenberg.
Okay. Do each of you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we're going to turn to the city representatives first so that we can have them read into the record for us the dates and dollar amounts and controversy. And then we're going to come back to you and you'll have an opportunity to explain to the board why you're here today, what you're looking for from us with regard to this bill. So who has this matter for the city?
I do, Ms. Chairperson.
Okay, Ms. Scattergood and Ms. Smith has
I
the
will-
information.
I will defer to Ms. Smith.
All right, Ms. Smith, could you please put on the record the dates and dollars in controversy?
Yes, the period in question is the June 28th, 2024 final REIT bill through July 23, 2024, plus associated penalties up to August 2nd, 2024. I just want to note that the June 2024 final REIT bill is for the period July 23, 2020 through June 26, 2024.
Okay, the principal amount?
Principal amount is $12,702.99. The penalty amount is $606.24. Lien amount is 0, bringing the total disputed amount to $13,309.23.
Okay, Ms. Scattergood, any opening remarks?
That rebill follows a period of about 4 years where the water usage that was billed was based on estimated readings because the meter assembly was not transmitting the water, the actual water usage. And I can explain for the record and for the petitioners in greater detail what that means. But water was still being passed through the meter, and the apartment condo unit was occupied during the whole period in dispute. So as far as the usage goes, the rebuild amount should stand because it it does measure what the actual water usage was during that time period. And the final read is about in line with the current usage on the property. So the amount that was rebilled is not excessive or.
All right, well, we'll need,
Yeah.
needs that to be more further explained with actual testimony and documentation on the record. But
Yes.
let's turn to Mr. Greenberg. So what Ms. Scattergood has explained in her opening comments is that there was a period of time, it looks like at least 4 years, where while the water meter may have been functioning in the property, the electronic transmitter was not sending that to the water department, and therefore the usage was not being recorded and billed until they actually came in and I guess replaced it. So that's kind of where the understanding is at the moment, but what would you like to tell us about how all of this came about?
Well, the problem is we never knew what the meter doesn't work right. We would pay monthly whatever it was should be paid, but we never knew. And all of a sudden, after 4 years, they came up with such a big number that we cannot afford to pay that. And especially if this is their fault, why is they putting that money on us?
So could you tell us a little bit about what kind of property this is? Is it tenant occupied?
Yes.
Okay, how many is it 1 unit or 2 is it a duplex?
It's 1 unit.
1 unit. And how many tenants did you have during this time?
Husband and wife, 2 persons.
Okay, so just 2 people.
Yes.
Okay, same tenants for the 4 years?
Yes.
Okay, and who was responsible for paying the water bill each month?
They're responsible.
Okay. All right, and so at some point in June of 2024, water department came in, replaced whatever needed to be replaced, and this bill showed up. Is that where we
Yes.
are?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Scattergood?
I would like to ask a couple of questions to establish about what the water usage is with some questions about the fixtures. How many bathrooms are in the unit?
3.
3 bathrooms, okay.
2.5 actually.
2.5, okay. So toilet and sink in all 3, but a shower or a tub or something in 2 of them?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a dishwasher in the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a laundry
Yes.
machine, like a washing machine? Okay. 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 I will now turn to Ms. Smith for some questioning.
There's only 2 people live there, and they didn't use that much water.
Okay. Okay, great. So Ms. Smith, where are bills being sent for this account?
1111 Harriet Road in Huntington Valley, PA.
Okay. And what charges appeared on the bill for this property during the disputed period?
Usage, service, and stormwater.
Okay, so were the readings all progressive, meaning the water meter spun forward?
Yes.
Okay. Were the usage readings actual or were they estimated?
Estimated.
Okay. Were there any periods of more than 3 months of estimated readings?
Yes.
Okay. For the record, why might the readings have been estimated for this property?
The ERT was not transmitting to the PWD device. There was no response.
Okay. And for the record, what does ERT stand for?
Electronic, give me 1 second, electronic register transmitter.
Okay. And how is the ERT different from the water meter?
Well, the ERT transmits readings from the meter to the PWD device, and the meter just simply measures the water usage.
Okay. So were there any months during this disputed period with zero usage?
Yes,
How many months in a row were there any consecutive months of zero usage?
there were consecutive months,
Um,
at least a year,
Okay, were those zero usage readings actual or were they estimated?
estimated.
Okay, what's the start and end of the periods of zero estimated usage?
From May 28th, 2021 through May 29th, 2024.
Okay. Okay. Did meter shop technicians go out to the property during this period?
Yes,
Okay. When did they go?
May 31st, 2024.
Okay. Does the system show who requested that visit?
No,
Okay. Did they install or service any part of the meter assembly during that visit?
yes,
Okay. And the meter assembly, for the record, is the meter itself plus the ERT, correct?
correct.
Okay. Did they install or service the meter?
They serviced the meter, they just simply upgraded it.
Upgraded it, but the meter itself that's in the property now is still the same one that was there for the 4 years disputed period, right?
Correct, yes,
Okay. Did the meter shop technicians install or service the ERT?
yes, they changed the earth.
They changed it, okay. Did the meter shop techs observe any problems with the ERT or the meter?
No,
Okay. Did they do any other work?
no,
Did the readings change after the visit?
yes, they were higher, much higher than they normally were and during the estimated period.
Okay.
And they were actual.
They were actual readings, okay. Did the visit result in any billing changes?
Yes,
Okay, what kind?
well, they received a rebill for the estimated period.
Okay, and for the record, please define rebill in general terms.
It's when accounting adjusts or corrects a bill or billing period and then issues another bill to reflect those changes, those corrections.
Okay, so is a rebill based on actual or estimated usage?
Actual.
Okay. Okay, so you said you testified that the readings immediately after the meter shop visit were higher than the average previously. What months for which billing periods did you observe higher than average readings?
Well, since the rotate May through current, they're higher than they've been before the estimated period and during the estimated period.
Ms. Smith, can you
yeah.
show us the account history? Can we see
Yes.
those numbers?
Okay. Can you see it?
No.
Now,
Yes.
Oh.
Thank you.
All right.
And can you zoom in a little bit for us?
I don't know.
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
That is a function that we hope to get when the next time we get a software update, but until then we have to squint if we're sharing screens.
So this right here is when the estimated usage began. As you can see, the readings are very low. Even a little bit lower than the usage prior to.
Can we see the usage prior? Oh, that's
Mhm.
5, 4, is that where we are?
Right.
Yeah, okay. And then it drops down to 1s, 2s, 0s.
Right. And then after the
Pops up.
right, then you have all these high usage.
And those are actual readings coming in now?
Yes.
They're not estimated.
No.
All right. So, Mr. Greenberg, have you had a plumber look at this property to see if there is any plumbing issues, leaks going on with this
Yes,
property?
indeed, there is no any issues.
Because the new readings coming in are very high and much higher than, when the meter was working before.
No, we don't have any issues there.
Pardon me?
We don't have any issues. We can look it up again, but we
Have
not,
you had a plumber there at all?
we did,
You did have a plumber. When was that?
well, maybe 4 or 5 months ago or so.
Okay. All right, Ms. Scattergood, anything else?
Mr. Grinberg, is it Grinberg or Greenberg?
Greenberg.
Grinberg, okay, with an I, okay, just checking, thank you. So, there were people living in this unit the whole time, at least from 2020 through 24.
Yes.
Okay, how many people? I know you said there was a husband and wife. Was there anybody else in that household during that time?
Well, maybe the kids was coming on the weekends or so, as far as I know, but they are 2 people in the property.
Okay, there were okay. Ms. Smith, what I know you said the readings increased, but considering this is a 2.5 bathroom condo with a dishwasher and a washer dryer, is this kind of usage typical for the property that we have here?
Just for a 2 head of household, it's a bit high.
What about for 4 people in the property?
Between 8 and 10 would be normal.
And
Okay.
he's testified there are only 2 people in the property.
Okay,
That would be speculation.
okay. Ms. Smith, do the water bills notify the customer if bills were based on estimated versus actual usage?
Yes,
Okay, and with that estimated versus actual usage, if the bills are estimated, is the water customer provided with information for how to contact the meter shop and get the meter evaluated?
yes.
Okay. Okay. What does the payment history look like for this account?
They're good. They pay on time. Outside of what, that they're disputing, they're pretty good payers.
Okay.
Well, it does look like that prior to that $12,000 bill, their account was at 0. They had been paying.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
The city has nothing further.
Okay. Mr. Grimberg, is there anything else you wanted to add? Other than what you've already told us?
Just, I would like us, to help us with that issue because
Suddenly, just.
Okay. Now, we do understand that is a staggering bill to get out of the blue. We understand that part for sure. All right, so we are everybody stay put. The board is gonna take a few minutes to step back and have a discussion about this case and everything that has been provided by both parties.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I think we have everybody back.
Yeah.
Tax Review Board is back in session. It's our determination that at this point in time, we're going to continue this for some additional information. Mr. Grimberg, it seems to us in reviewing the documents, specifically the readings that have occurred since the meter assembly was repaired, that there's a lot of water usage showing up each month as being actually used. And what we would like to have in order for us to make a determination as to what kind of usage was or is going on in the property or was going on in the property during the period of time you're questioning, we're going to ask if you could please provide us with your plumber's information, establishing what steps were taken to determine that there aren't any leaks in the property, including a running toilet or some other kind of issue that maybe you can't hear yourself if you're in the property. Because it does seem like that these readings are very high based on your testimony that only 2 adults live in this property. In addition, we do want you to keep in mind that there's a very large period of time during which these bills that were paid every month, there's no disputing that the bills were paid, did not have any usage attached to them. So you were paying a bill for service charge and stormwater only, even though you have testified there were tenants there and water was being used. So there is usage that was not being recorded that does have to be accounted for. We just want to be sure that we make a correct determination as to how to evaluate it. So if we can give you 30 days to provide our office with your plumber's report, that would be helpful, and we'll take that into a consideration with everything we've heard today and make our decision. Ms. Scattergood, I think we have everything from you we need, but please, if there's anything else that you want to submit, you of course also may do that in the next 30 days. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, so I need concurrence from the board that this matter is continued for the current time period.
John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Camerdiner, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
All ways I concur.
Mr.
Melissa.
Greenberg has something to say. Go ahead.
Yes.
So I need to bring plumber now, right? Because I don't even know when he was there at that time, and I don't have anything about that inspection. So
He didn't give you a written report?
No, he just looked around, nothing was leaking, everything was fine, and that was the end of it.
Okay, well, we're giving you we're not telling you, I guess, but we're giving you an option to provide us with a current plumber's report so that we can have some better idea of what's accounting for the water usage at your property.
Okay, so I'm gonna call him now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who I gonna send the report to?
We'll give you the information
they're
before
gonna
you
give-
leave, okay?
Okay, and then
All right.
after 30 days, that's gonna be decision made.
Yes.
Can I? Any
What?
questions?
We
Do-
just, it's very big surprise for us, and we never knew what problem it's there, so just consider what.
No, we do understand, that this is, that these bills like this come and they're very shocking. There's no doubt about it. We do recognize that, and we're gonna, analyze, where it stands and whether there's something that we can do in this
Okay.
circumstance.
Because, it's,
We will be very appreciated, because we would pay, I mean, whatever it should to be paid, but this is what was it, so, it's just shocking
like
for us.
both parties involved, not just us, that's.
It's a mistake from both sides.
Yes, no, we do recognize all of that.
Okay,
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Wait a second, and I'll explain, okay?
we're gonna move on to, case number 5 on our docket for 2422 North Clarion Street. Last 4 digits of the docket, 9758.
So,
Good afternoon. Could you please state your name for the record?
Brian Phillips.
Mr. Phillips, how are you? My
Okay.
name is Paula Weiss. I'm the chair of the Tax Review Board. We're going to be hearing your case today. I need to swear you in. So do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. We're going to turn to the city representatives to start us off so that they can read into the record the dates and the dollar amounts in controversy. And then we're going to come back to you and you're going to have an opportunity to explain to us why you're here and what you're looking for from our board. Okay? Ms. Scattergood?
I will defer to Ms. Smith for the numbers, and then I'll make a very brief statement.
Okay, Ms.
by way
Smith?
Okay, the period in question is the July 2nd, 2022 DA for the period of July 15, 2015 through June 30th, 2022. The principal amount is $3,172.40. 0 penalties, 0 liens, bringing the total dispute amount to $3,172.40.
Okay. Ms. Scattergood?
So our understanding is that this dispute is regarding the DA means debit adjustment, which Ms. Smith and I can explain in greater detail. But there was no meter, there was no meter in the property registering during this disputed time. So the petitioner claims that the meter wasn't, that the property was vacant during that time, and he hasn't, but he's been given multiple opportunities to produce other utility bills like a PICO bill and a gas bill to corroborate that vacancy, and has not done so. This hearing has been continued a couple of times pending the production of those materials, and he also has failed to appear a couple of times. So regardless of what happens today, the city would like to request that no further continuances be granted.
All right, well, we're not there yet, so.
Right, okay. So it's the petitioner's burden to show that the property was not vacant during this time period, and absent any proof of that, the water usage that was estimated should be treated as binding.
So is this usage all estimated usage?
It
Or
was
I guess, is this bill service charge and stormwater, or is there usage on this bill?
Ms. Smith?
It was estimated 0 usage for a period of time. So yeah, they would just be being billed for service and storm.
Primarily.
Yeah, primarily.
Okay. Mr. Phillips, what would you like to tell us about this matter?
So when I initially received the letter, I have the letter regarding the bill. I have a letter here that I think it says disputed cycle 7/15/2015 to June 30th, 2022. So when I initially received the bill, I called to just really to get an explanation. So the house was vacant for at least 10 years. I did not have any PGW bills because there's no one was in there. The only reason why I got a PICO bill was before an alarm system. I had 3 properties on the block and I put alarms in all of them. So then as I started coming to some of the hearings, they requested some stuff. I didn't know I needed a PICO bill in the first few hearings. So then I had to go back and get a turn on date. So I also have the complaint notice that I have that's dated 11/17/20 says 0 usage, even on November 20th. So
Well, let me ask you a question. All right, let's start from the beginning. When did you purchase this property?
Let me look at my deed. I purchased it in 2015.
2015.
Yeah.
And was it occupied when you purchased it?
No, it was vacant. I bought it off of a New York developer. It was vacant when I purchased it.
Has it ever been occupied?
Not under my ownership, no.
Still vacant?
No, I have someone in there now. And I put my
When
lease
did
back.
that start?
Mr. Phillips?
Yeah, I'm grabbing my lease.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm sorry.
You disappeared for a second.
I've been leased with PHA as my first tenant, February 22nd, 2024. It ends January 31st, 2026.
Okay, and so there's a water bill dating back to July of 2015. What is it about this bill that you're disputing?
What was the usage? I'm aware that you pay storm and water, whether the property is vacant or not.
Okay,
it's just
so
been-
have you paid the bills, any of these bills since 2015?
Not on usage, on the storm and water, I was paying the bills, and I continue to.
Okay, so as Ms. Scattergood said, what evidence do you have to establish for us that the property was in fact vacant?
Pictures and just, actually just pictures.
Okay, what kind of pictures? Ms. Andre is going to come in and look at your pictures because we obviously can't see them. And Ms. Smith, I'm going to bounce back to you then for a moment. Can you give us some testimony as to the payment history on this account starting in 2015?
The first payment since 2015 wasn't until March of 2018. Since then, payments have been very scattered.
And are they large amounts, small amounts,
Yes.
just the bills themselves?
They're small amounts, but then again, he's been having zero usage since his
Well,
ownership.
but so my question is, when you say small amounts, are they amounts that actually pay the bill? Do I have the account history?
Like he'll let the bill run up and then he'll pay it down or pay it off, basically. So before this DA, his balance was zero.
Oh, okay, that helps. That's really, I guess, what I was driving at. And
March 20, 2020.
all right, and then you testified that for at least some of this period, the bills were zero.
Yes.
Okay, and so
That's the back.
for this bill
That's the
itself,
rear.
since, am I correct that there was no meter
It's the rear yard.
at the time in July of 15 when the current meter was installed?
Yeah.
So what type, okay? Well, I can do it.
Let me see. Well, there was a meter in the property because at one point in time before his ownership, there was actual usage being registered. So somewhere along the line before the ERT meter change in June of 2022, the meter at ERT went missing.
So, okay, so in 2015 though, they were missing when the water department showed up?
Well, no, they
They
didn't.
were not online?
No, the water department didn't show up until June 2022.
Oh, okay, so, all right, so I'm looking at bills.
They had made unsuccessful attempts to evaluate the meter before that, though. The service link records of which I did produce.
So how were they, what were the bills based on? If there was no,
May I?
yes, no readings. All right, never mind. I see it.
I can have Ms. Smith explain what a DA debit adjustment is for the record and for the petitioner's benefit that might explain in greater detail?
Yeah, or hold on just a minute, though. I think we do
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
do that. Ms. Andre, what is it that you're looking at?
It's a plethora of pictures. I'll give that to Mr. Phillips. There are tons of pictures of what looks like a renovation going on in, from, I guess, the end of 2019 up until I have pictures as August 2020, showing renovation work, scaffolding,
The city hasn't seen any of these.
Yes, you're
Okay,
right.
we understand. We're gonna get
Okay.
to that.
Okay.
And I understand that, so what I have told Mr. Phillips is if there's some way he can email them to me, before we make our decision, and then I can email them to you, you know, to verify that it's in fact, you know, the address in question and all that stuff. So, but there are, I want to say at least 30 pictures here of a property being renovated from 2019 all the way to 2020, and clearly being renovated, and clearly nobody lives there.
However, okay. All right, so we're gonna do that, and then Ms. Scattergood, if you want to take Ms. Smith through the explanation of a debit adjustment, that would be very helpful.
Okay, Ms. Smith, what is a debit adjustment in general terms?
It's an adjustment of a billing period that adds charges to one's account.
Okay. And under what circumstances does the Water Revenue Bureau issue debit adjustments?
When during a PWD visit, it's found that the property is occupied while reflecting zero usage in basis 2.
And that zero usage in basis 2 would be actual or estimated?
Well,
It's zero usage.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. How is usage estimated for the purposes of the debit adjustment?
So they'll either use prior usage, meaning if there was actual usage prior to the DA applied, or they'll use current usage being used on the account now. If neither are available at the time of the PWD visit, they will estimate based on the property type, property size, and meter size, as well as the household size, if that information is available.
And
Okay.
do you know how this specific debit adjustment was arrived at?
Well, they didn't have any prior usage or current at that time, so they would have to make the estimations based on the property type and meter size.
And can you tell us what the per month CCF amount was that they arrived at?
Let me see if they have it available. At 5.04 CCFs per month.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
5.04 CCFs per month.
Okay. All right. So it seems that here's where we are. There is information that we cannot look at the moment, that we need to review regarding pictures of the property itself and that the city needs to be able to see. In addition, I guess we do have the account history and all of that information that we can use. So I think what I'm going to recommend is we're going to take this matter under advisement. Have an opportunity for Ms. Scattergood and for the board members to review the documentation, and then we will provide Ms. Scattergood an opportunity to respond to that documentation, and then we will make a decision. So, Mr. Phillips, is there anything else that you would like to explain to us about what was going on at the property or why you're disputing this bill and what you think needs to happen?
So when I called for the meter, I met the guy out there. He installed the meter. He actually turned the water on. He dug the box up or put his device in the ground. So he actually could prove that the water was not on when he arrived. So that's really what my basis was on. Like the day I got the meter, I'm sure anybody would question once you get a $3,000 bill. I mean, if I was using it, absolutely, I wouldn't even be here. But to me, that just was odd that as soon as I get the meter, a month or so down, I get a large amount, and that's a significant amount.
Yes, it is. So Ms. Smith, are there any notes in your records that you can see that were entered by the PWD installer regarding the status of the water in terms of being turned on or turned off?
Give me 1 second.
Yep.
And when he says that the PWD, around what time was that that he's referencing?
With whatever the date was when the meter was installed.
Sometime in 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, 7/2/2022.
Okay, the latest one we have is 6/30/2022.
Or actually, the bill, I think, is dated 6/30/2022.
The only notes that I have here is that the property is viable and occupied, and it's a missing earning meter. That's it.
Okay, nothing regarding, there's nothing in the system regarding any kind of shut off or restore.
Okay. Just leave it a second. I think it was saying found off on 4/29/2022. I just want to make sure that is. It was found off, but it was also found occupied.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, I think that we have enough at the moment. So just to confirm, however, you did testify that your tenants, that you were not tenant occupied until 2024?
Correct. So
Okay.
when he came out, the house was done, but no one was living there. It was in a livable condition because we renovated. That's why I called for the meter. But there is no evidence there that someone was there. There's no furniture. The house was totally empty.
Okay, so, do we need a minute to step back, or are we okay with taking this under advisement? I need my board members to weigh in here. George, John, Nancy?
I think we can take it under advisement and review everything what they send us.
All right,
Don't have
John?
to go back,
That's
yes.
fine.
Thank you, George. John, thumbs up or thumbs down, because you're muted.
You're back on
Yeah.
mute, George.
All right, so.
Yes, I'm
There
good.
you go, you're back. All right, so we are gonna take this matter under advisement. We're gonna allow petitioner to supply the pictures or other documents to show the condition of the property during the period of time. Ms. Scattergood, actually, I guess if we give you a week to do that, is that sufficient for you to get us those pictures in a digital form?
Mr.
Mr.
Phillips,
Phillips?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and then Ms. Scattergood, we can give you another 7 working days to respond in any way that you might choose after you have time to review them. Is that sufficient?
Yes.
Okay, and then the board will also review all of that, and we will come to a decision. We will inform you of when we're going to announce that decision. So hopefully give us enough, maybe 30 days, and we'll have this concluded. Okay?
So I'll get an email to
I'm
send
gonna
these
give you
to.
my business card. You'll
Okay.
email me the pictures, or
Okay.
you can even come back and drop them off over here, whatever works for you. And
Okay.
then once I get those, I'll send them to Ms. Scattergood, and that'll start her week to kind
Okay.
of respond, okay?
That's fine.
All right, so I think that concludes the matter for today. Thank you, Mr. Phillips. We will look at all of those pictures and whatever documents you're going to provide in order to be able to make a decision on your behalf.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
All right.
And I think that that concludes our docket for today.
No.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. The other, CT88 Property LLC is here. I'm gonna put that.
Okay, we've had somebody has shown up.
We weren't expecting that.
So that's case number 4, which is 2001 Shellmeyer, and last 4 digits of the docket are 3PFM. So let's wait a second for them to come into the room.
Hello.
Good afternoon. My name is Paula Weiss, Chair of the Tax Review Board. We're going to be hearing your case today. Could you please state your full name for the record?
Ella Tang. I represent CT88 CT Property LLC.
And what is your relationship to this LLC?
I'm the sole owner.
Okay. So Ms. Thang, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we are gonna turn to the city representatives to get us started by reading into the record the dollar amounts and dates that are in controversy, and then we're gonna come back to you and give you an opportunity to explain to us why you're here and what you're
Yes.
looking for from the board, okay?
Mhm.
So, Ms. Smith?
Yes, the period in question is the February 28th, 2024 final rebill, plus associated penalties up to April 2nd, 2024. The final rebill is for the period October 27, 2020 through February 27, 2024. The principal amount is $10,424.73. The penalty amount is $504.77. Zero lien amount, bringing the total dispute amount to $10,929.50.
I'm sorry, Ms. Smith, the dates were 10 October what?
October 27, 2020.
Thank you.
Got it? All right, Ms. Scattergood, any opening comments?
The rebill followed a period of 39 to 40 months of estimated readings, after which the an actual reading was able to be taken from the property. It's the petitioner's burden to show why that usage was why the usage shown by the actual reading was incorrect. So
Then we're going to turn to Ms. Thang to get us started. Why don't you explain to us what brings you here today?
Yes. I believe that the water meter that they provided on the record, the paper give it to me, is incorrect. I have a copy of my water meter. My water meter is 0998, and when I zoom in the meter that they give it to me, it 119 something, and which is incorrect. And
all right, let's stop right there. So you said 0998 is the meter?
Yeah, my meter. Water
Okay,
meter.
that's actually in your property.
Yes.
Okay, and then where did you get that other number?
The other number is a paper that the representative to give it me today. They give it the number, the meter number is 11. When I zoom it, it starts with letter 119 something. And
I'm not sure what paper that is, so let's.
this one that they provided.
Oh, the pictures.
Yes.
Oh, the pictures of the found and of the old and new meters, when they replaced the meter and the ERT in the property.
Did they replace both?
Yes, they replaced both on February 7th of 2024.
So that's a picture of the old meter?
There are pictures of
Give
both.
her, picture of the,
This is the picture of my new meter.
Correct.
Yes.
I have the meter number is 0098. That's the picture that they give it to me. It start with 119 something.
Is that the old meter?
That's the old meter they give it. I
okay,
think.
well, so
I
that,
assume that.
that's not that's the old meter where they got the reading from.
Correct.
That's the
and
meter
then-
they took out.
And I believe that the meter is incorrect because prior to the bill that they changed the meter, because I was a person who called you guys to change the water meter, since everybody starting changing the meter. I was waiting 2 to 3 months to get my appointment to be changed. And by that day, I will have something emergency. I cannot be there. And the representative, my tenant at the office, he should let the technician to change it. And when I called them before I changed it, they say that my bill was an estimate. But when I found out that after they changed, it's estimate. But even then, that they bill me additional like 1,293 cubic feet from the 40 month, which is impossible. And I have paid from November 27, 2020 to January 31st, 2024. I have paid 469 cubic feet, which is equal for per month. I pay 12 cubic feet per month. And I monitor my water meter and my water bill since the day they changed the water meter. 15 months, they changed it from February 29, 2024 up to today. The bill, the last bill they give it to me is to April 28, 2025. In 15 months, I bill for 142 cubic feet. And I average it. I took the 142 cubic feet divided by 15 months, which equal every month average usage is 9.466 cubic feet. So in 15 months for the new bills in the day that they change it, I mean, they change the water meter, I'll calculate the payment that I made. It's $2,635.66. And they bill me additional for $4,000. They try to bill me $4,000.07, $4,007.11 plus the credit balance I have on the account is $329.32, which is equal $4,036.37, which is incorrect, which is 1.645 more than whatever I currently bill for. And before I purchased the property in 2000, I purchased it in August 16, 2019. My cubic feet is 2,539 cubic feet. And we have actual reading up to the November 27, 2020. Our average usage is 8 cubic feet or less per month, not more than that.
Okay, so Ms. Thang, what kind of property is this?
It's the office. For the first floor, it only has a toilet and a sink. They don't do anything. And for the second floor, is a 2-bedroom apartment. It's only occupant one lady before from the period of 2020 the 2019 2000 to 2000 end of 2021. It's only one lady. And she lived there. She's a retired teacher. And from 2020, 22 up to now, it's up to 2 people. So, and the second floor is a 2 lady. I mean, also there's no laundry. So there's no way that if you bill me additional, there's no way that my property could use like 40 cubic feet per month. There's no way to 45. If you bill me from the beginning, you bill me additional like 2,539 cubic feet. There's no way that this property can be used like 45 cubic feet per month for the water bill. But the judge, the last time the judge granted 11 cubic feet per month. If I took 11 cubic feet from the estimate until the day they changed the water meter, so It's only 44 cubic feet, so why?
Okay, so let
should
me
I
ask
have
you a
to be-
question. I think we understand what you're saying. Have you had any plumbing issues in this property? Have you had a plumber come in to check for leaks?
Yes, we do. I do provide the invoice. I have managed the property many times this year. I fixed the roof, I checked the AC.
Okay, so you
I
said
checked
you've had a plumber.
I
You
do
have a
have the
plumber's
plumber to
report
check
for
the
us?
kitchen, the toilet. I do. I give it to the.
Yes, we would like to see that. That's great. We would
Yes,
like to.
please.
What's the date on that report?
So one second. I forwarded it to the board earlier. I forgot to forward it to Ms. Scattergood. Oh my God.
Okay.
1 second.
Let me file it. I just give it to them. The whole thing. The plumber is from, because there's some old receipt that I couldn't file it, but, I called the plumber and he did provide me from his record. On, December 21st, 2020, I had people inspect the property. On
Mhm.
December 6th, 2021, I have people replace the kitchen sink. And I do have people replace the, do another inspection on November 18, 2024. Whenever I saw that my bill is over $150, and I send people out to inspect my property, because I bill the each unit $50. Whatever over than that, they had to split it. So that's why whenever the water bill is high, they call me out. Hey, they say, hey, you need to inspect the property. I don't want to be billed high. And that's why whenever they request, I send people out.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Scattergood?
I am, I would love to see the plumber report.
Yes.
But so it's like a duplex row building with an office on the first floor and a 2-bedroom apartment in the second floor?
Yes.
Okay. How many people were in the office during that time?
In the office, only one gentleman, and with the other, only 2 people. But they switch all the time. One of them is they're doing the travel agency, so he travel a lot. One of them is accountant. So
So there's two occupants of the office.
yes, 2
Okay.
occupants in the office. But the office only have 1 toilet and 1 hand sink. They don't have anything else. It's only
Okay.
1 half bathroom, powder room.
Okay. And the apartment was 2 bedrooms. Is it 2 bathrooms as well?
Each unit had 2 bedroom and 1 bathroom only.
How many apartment units are there?
2.
Okay. And were both of those apartments occupied during the time period?
Yes.
Okay. So so there's four bathrooms in the whole building.
No, only 2 and
I'm sorry, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
4 bedroom,
Okay.
only 2 and half bath.
Got you. Okay. Okay.
And there's no way that if a property leaking, they cannot be leaking for like 40 months. And I've been in and out the building every month to correct the rent. I mean, I do have people that they've been got you guys been mess up the bill, and they complain, like 725 Bergen Street is one of my friend, and they got a bill after they changing the water meter on July 1st, 24. And he got billed for $4,874, and then
Well, you know what? That's really not relevant to us right now.
Yes,
And we're gonna let the city finish providing us whatever information they want.
Okay. I'm reviewing the documents that okay, I see heating inspection.
I mean, continue moving forward from now until next year. My bill gonna be the same, because we monitor the bill every month. We monitor it.
Okay, no leaks. So if there's no leaks, then that means the water usage, so I will let, I'm gonna question Ms. Smith about the rebill process and the estimated usage, if that's all right. And Ms. Thang, you can ask her questions too, when I'm finished with my direct examination, if you have any. Ms. Smith, have you had the opportunity to review this account for 2001 Shellmeyer Avenue?
Yes,
Okay. All right. Where are bills being sent for the account?
3544 Chimney Swift Drive, Huntington Valley, PA.
Okay. And what charges appeared on the bill for the property during the disputed period?
Usage, service, and stormwater.
Okay. Were there any periods of more than 3 months in a row of estimated readings?
Yes.
Okay. Do the Water Revenue Bureau records explain why there were estimated readings?
Just that they were not, the ERT was not responding with the PWD device.
Okay, and for the record, just to preserve the record, what is the ERT and how is it different from the meter?
The ERT is an electronic register transmitter, and the ERT just simply transmits usage readings to the PWD device, and the meter just measures water usage.
Okay, so did the meter shop technicians go out to the property during the disputed period?
Yes.
On which date?
February 7th, 2024.
Okay. Did they install or service the meter?
They upgraded the meter,
They upgraded the meter. Okay. So the meter itself is still the same?
Yes.
Okay. Did they install or service the ERT?
Yes.
Okay. Did they do any other work?
No.
Okay. Did the readings change after the visit?
They just became actual.
So the actual readings were in line with what the estimated readings?
They were a little lower.
A little lower, okay. What about the actual readings that were recorded on the property before the 40-month period of estimated readings?
They were lower.
Okay. Did the visit result in the billing changes or adjustments?
Yes, a rebill.
A rebill, okay. And for the record, define a rebill in general terms, please?
It's when accounting adjusts or corrects a bill or billing period and then issues another bill that reflects the changes.
Okay, and the rebill is based on actual or estimated usage?
Actual.
Okay. And please describe the payment history on the account.
Good, monthly, and on time.
Okay. Okay, so there were 40 months in a row of estimated usage. Is that correct?
44, yes.
44 months?
40 months.
40 months.
It's from November 27, 2020.
I'm sorry, yes, 40 months. My apologies.
Okay. Okay. And how is usage estimated during the time when the ERT is not transmitting?
Oh, I don't know how the system calculates the usage.
That's fine. That's fine. So, but the rebill is based on the actual usage that was recorded but not transmitted during that time period, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So how did the reading, oh, you already, that was asked and answered. Okay. So the actual usage was, the rebill is the difference between what was billed during the estimated period and what was actually used during that period, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I don't have further questions for Ms. Smith, but Ms. Thang might.
Thang, do you have
or
any
the board.
questions for the city's representative, Ms. Smith? Ms. Thang?
Yes, I mean, if the judge grant me for 40 months for the estimate bill for 11 cubic feet, the letter that they say I should not be billed additional $4,007.11, because based on the old bill, I'll calculate every month the bill. I make a summary from the November 27, 2020 up to the January 31st, 2024. I've been billed for 469 cubic feet already. And even though for the new bill, after they change it, and I make a summary of every month bill, that from January 29 up to April 30, 2025, I only use I only use like 142 cubic feet, which is $2,635. So you guys billing me another 4,000, which is almost like 3 years. It's almost equal to 3 years of my water bills. So which is incorrect.
Okay, Ms. Scattergood, closing remark?
The water usage was actual and progressive once the meter was replaced. There's really no significant difference between the actual readings prior to and after the ERT change. And whatever the hearing officer decided in the prior hearings is irrelevant here, because this board is deciding this case de novo. So the prior adjustment is wiped from the record, and I defer to all of you for this. So that prior adjustment, Ms. Thang, doesn't matter here because the board is starting with a blank slate.
Correct. All right, thank you. All right, we're going to step back. So everybody's just stay where you are. All right, I think we have,
Nancy,
Yep.
type.
let's see, wait a minute. All right, we have everybody. The tax review board is back in session. We have reviewed the documentation and the testimony that we heard in this matter. And it is our decision as follows, that for the time period 10/27/20 to 2/7/24, that we are going to abate all of the penalties that have accrued against the liability, as well as direct the Water Revenue Bureau to recompute the monthly average of water usage based on 900 cubic feet per month. We arrived at that by looking at the current usage, since the meter and ERT have been repaired or replaced by the water department, and that seems to be about the average usage for the property when getting actual usage each month. We also recognize, Ms. Thang, that in doing that, there was at least the period of 1 year. While you did pay a lot of estimated usage during the time period, there is also a period of at least 12 months where 0 usage was billed, although your testimony was that the property has been occupied continuously. So that 900 cubic feet will cover each month during that time period in question. So can I get concurrence from the board?
Yes, John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Camerdiner, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
Thank you. And Paula Weiss, I concur. So Ms. Thang, you will get a letter from the tax review board that states our decision to reduce the usage to 900 cubic feet for the time period in question, as well as abate the penalties. An adjusted bill from the Water Revenue Bureau will follow. You will have 30 days from the date of that bill to arrange installments for any balance, should you choose. Either party, however, does have the right to appeal to the Court of Common Pleas within 30 days of the date of our decision letter.
Question.
And you had a question?
How come it become 900 cubic feet, only 40 months? So you're gonna bill me 36 cubic feet a month?
No,
Cubic
there's-
feet
there's
is
more than-
9 CCFs a month.
Oh, 9 CCF.
9, yes.
Yes.
Oh,
So-
okay, is that,
So,
okay.
so I don't have to be billed for $4,007, right? Correct.
Yeah, well, we can't do the dollar amounts,
Okay.
so you'll have to wait for the adjusted bill. But that should provide quite a bit of relief
Okay.
for
Thank
you.
you so much.
Okay, so thank you for coming in, and I think that concludes our business for today.
Yes.
So, thank you, everyone, and the tax review board session is now concluded.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Have a good evening, everyone.